Hello, welcome to Tonalist Painting with M. Francis McCarthy. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and welcome as well to day 25 of 25 Days of Tonalism, Volume 2. Don't worry though, because there's a secret day 26 of 25 Days of Tonalism, Volume 2. Why do I do that? I guess I'm just bloody-minded, you know. Well, no, that's not bloody-minded. I like to give you guys always a bit extra, you know. I want to give you a little bit more. And I think I started doing that initially just to have some slop, you know, if something went wrong. But I have this kind of perfectionist nature, I guess you would call it. And if anything goes wrong, and it did go wrong, I end up repainting the entire painting. Like say, I ended up kicking the video camera, which happened. Anyway, I digress as usual now, and this is the, for me, I guess the more fun video casts, because it's a longer format and it gives me a chance just to chat. I probably won't be chatting much about what I'm doing in the studio. I know I've done that in some of these 25 days broadcasts, but I think I'm just going to chat maybe a little about Charles Warren Eaton. I'm not an expert on Charles Warren Eaton, but we've covered him quite a lot. And one of the things I'm going to be doing as soon as we get through actually day 26 of 25 days, is distribute these videos into the corresponding playlists. So we probably did, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 Charles Warren Eaton studies and a bunch of Georgia Ness studies and what have you. I will be distributing those into, like we have a playlist for studies after Charles Warren Eaton. We have a playlist for studies after Georgia Ness. And I will also be creating a playlist just for the 25 days of Tonalism Volume 2 itself. And I think I already did for our very first 25 days of Tonalism. I'm not sure, but if I haven't done that yet, I will do that too. So if you're the kind of person that likes to load up a playlist and just let it go, that'll be there for you. Now, as I discussed, well, maybe it's getting to be a month ago, I've been working on the 25 Days of Tonalism Volume 3 on and off for the last, you know, I don't know, 6-7 months, maybe a year. I just pick it up and I work on it here and there, and I hadn't worried much about completing it since I was getting, it takes us 25 weeks to actually get through 25 Days of Tonalism, which is okay. But I've got 2 more to finish. I'm going to go back in the studio. I'm home today for lunch right now. It's actually Saturday here in New Zealand, and I'm going to go back in the studio and I'm going to finish those up. They're going to dry. I'm going to hit them with a coat of liquid, and then I have to do all of my photography and start getting all my video archived videos done. But I will probably not have a gap between 25 Days of Tonalism Volume 2 and 25 Days of Tonalism Volume 3. And it's going to be kind of similar. The one big difference is that you can see the ground color I'm working on here is the burnt sienna, as I did for many years. This year, 2017, I made a switch to burnt umber, which is darker, still kind of red, but much darker, and was really digging doing the studies on that. And I will probably, I've got a bit of time to play with, so I will probably be getting into a 25 Days of Tonalism Volume 4, which I'm considering doing in a larger scale, like 7x10s and maybe 6x8s, maybe dropping the square format altogether and doing 6x8s or something like that for more square pieces. But we'll see. We'll see. And the other thing I'm debating mentally is Those of you that follow my channel with any regularity know I've been doing tons of little paintings on heavily textured boards lately, and that's my thing right now. But will I roll out that extensive texture for the next series of studies after Tonalist Masters? I might do something that's kind of like that, or I may actually do like half the boards with texture and half not. In some cases it'd be pretty difficult to do a study after someone that was into painting on a very smooth board or canvas. We'll see. I'm rolling that around in my head now. I'm just now starting to think about it. I do have an extensive collection of tonalist paintings from the greats of the 18th century that I'm always collecting these things, and even a few Georgianesses I haven't done yet, so that's always really fun. And it's actually the funnest part is usually the first color pass. Not that doing the second color pass is a drag or anything. It's absolutely, sometimes absolutely essential. In some cases, there's no way you're going to get the trees right if you try and paint them wet into wet paint. You have to let the painting dry and then paint them over the top. For example, and there's other instances too, just certain effects that need to be done that way. But it also has a chance to get it up on the easel and just, you know, appraise it and see how far I've gone. And I've been doing a lot of these, finishing a lot of these studies this last week, just for you, because you demanded it. You had to have it. And also, you know, I've been doing a lot of marketing. You guys have heard all that. I'm not going to get into that right now. But the whole point of the channel was to promote tonalism. And I can see that that is something that really still needs to happen big time. One of the reasons I changed the Tonalist Minute series to Landscape Painter Minute series was after some big time inputs from friends of mine and also from people I've been working with marketing on, that you know, a lot of people just don't know what tonalism is, and they might know it when they see it. They might know this kind of older style of painting, but it never got dragged back into the public's eye like Impressionism and people like Monet, and to a lesser degree when Renoir and people like that did. And I've seen, in fact I have lots of books on tonalism, some of which were published in the 70s and 80s, and there's been many attempts at a big time resurgence, but one of the reasons I think that it hasn't made the giant resurgence that the Impressionism did is that Impressionism lends itself a little better to fitting into very contemporary settings, because these guys were painting these, usually painting these bright daylight type scenes in a large format. And tonalism is often just the opposite. It's darker, more intimate and poetic scenes of twilight or dusk, and oftentimes they painted very small. And that's not, you know, if someone's got a great big slick you know, chrome and white paint apartment, heck, the only thing they might have on the wall is some geometric stripe that was painted there by an interior designer or something. But there are people that like older things and like small, dark, poetic things as well. It may never be as large a segment of the population, but let's face it, those of us that love tonalism, we know why we love it, and we see the value in it, and I believe that at least people should be exposed to it. Maybe, in fact, it's amazing to me when I go, you know, my partner is a medical professional that often visits people in their homes, and she tells me almost none of them have any art on the wall at all, of any type, not even a poster. So it's not just tonalism or impressionism or painting, it's in general people need to be more educated about art and the value of it. And so getting right back around to where I started, this is why I started this channel, was to promote tonalism, and I started it with the 100 Days of Tonalism. And well, there's a few little straggler videos there. I actually went and had a visit and a look back there in the old days. One of the things that's up there is a show I had here in Fongaray back in, I think it was probably 2015, and that I put up, and some other little tests and things. And but I jumped into the 100 Days of Tonalism. It was initially just going to be a blog, series of blog posts with pictures. I had videotaped the entire process, but I had no real intention of sharing that out. I ended up deciding to do that because of my desire to promote tonalism. So I put that work out there, and I didn't charge for it, and it's been a good thing. To my mind, you know, it might be that hundreds of thousands of people are you know, into painting but maybe not aware of tonalism, but some people find it, and those that do, they love it, and they try to paint that way. And I've had many of you contact me on the email and send me your paintings and send me your work, and some of you just to say, here I am, I'm out here, I'm doing this, and others of you looking for a bit of advice or instruction, which is always absolutely fine. I'm always very happy to help anybody that's looking for help. That's just the way I roll, and I think that's what life's about. It's about sharing and giving. And that said, if you like my work, you want to help support me and support this channel, I do have a store, and you should go visit it. And you know what, Christmas is coming up. I don't need to tell you that. And you know, it's perfectly acceptable to buy something that you love and give it to your partner. I know, it sounds, but she or he will end up loving it too, because that's the nature of owning a painting. Sometimes it's not till you really spend some time with an image that you learn to love it. And another thing that, you know, since I've been moving into this marketing mindset, you know, I've always been aware. I've had a publicly accessible studio for many years now, and I see the process that people go through when they buy a painting, and it's always an emotional connection. It's not something that you need to have. I mean, it's not like food or gas or medical care. It's something that enhances and improves your life, but just because it's not something that is absolutely vital for your existence, for you to live, doesn't mean it's not extremely important. Having a painting that is yours in your home is one of the things that creates a home. It creates an environment. And a painting in your environment, if you say you've had a really stressed out day or whatever, you come home, you know, you can sit in your chair and look at your painting, and you just start mellowing out and chilling out and getting back to, you know, being what a normal, natural human being probably felt like, you know. This modern world really puts us through the ringer, and one of the best solutions to that is to have beautiful original paintings in your home. No question about it. Anyway, that is day 25, and like I said, don't worry, we're coming out with a day 26 next week, and I'll do my best, my absolute best, for us not to have a gap, so that we're going to be just rolling on into volume 3. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with another long form video of one of my pieces, and I've got several that I've just been itching to share with you. So come back tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Meanwhile, please take good care and stay out of trouble.